What's everyone? All right, so I'll start here. If you guys want to start getting some stuff together, if you want to share whatever you're working on this morning. I'm working on this sketch. Actually, this is not for a tattoo. It could be, I guess. It's for our. I talked a little bit. I don't know who I was on last week. I talked a little bit about this Find Your Style group that we're doing with Fireside with Andy Chambers, and we've been talking about how he makes his templates for sleeves, which is what this. See if I can drop everything out of here, all my sketches out of here, and get back to just the template. I'm sure if you guys are hand drawing a lot. Wait, I lost it somewhere. There we go. I'm sure if you guys are hand drawing a lot of large scale stuff and you use tracing paper, you have a template that looks similar to this. But basically, this is kind of the way that Andy does his layout. And so I've been trying to practice with it. So we're doing all of our sleeve drawings, which is what this workshop, it's like a 4-week workshop. It's what it's really about is designing, we're all designing a sleeve. And so we did our thumbnails last week, and this is kind of what did I not turn on here? This is kind of part 2. We're rendering our sleeves just a little bit further. There we go. I think that's where I was before.
That looks fucking gorgeous, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. So the idea here, what we're trying to play with some is kind of inventing, or what I'm thinking about on this one is kind of inventing a horizon line, so that we can kind of force perspective and make invented objects look believable and like they exist in the same space. So I'm kind of like just below the beak of the owl is kind of where the horizon line might be. So I'm trying to focus on like looking down at everything below the horizon line, like the branches and things like that, and then looking more straight on at the owl, and then kind of looking up at the top of his wing as it goes up onto the deltoid. And so I'm trying to do it with just like 1 or 2 elements. Some people are trying to pull this off with multiple elements, so they're creating like full scenes, that where you can use like different imagery that are completely unrelated, but then using that kind of forced perspective, make unbelievable, make invented stuff look like it lives in a believable environment. That's kind of our exercise for this week. So it's been pretty cool. I've actually, it's funny, I'm supposed to be an instructor on this, but I've been I've just sitting there taking notes, learning from Andy. He's got a lot of ideas when it comes to advanced sleeve design. What are you guys working on? Let's see. Does anyone else have anything to share yet? Or are you just kind of kicking it off?
I'm not prepared to share anything personally. This is the first time I've been here, so I'm just checking you guys out. I'm excited to be a part of it, though.
Yeah, man, thanks. It's only our second time. Gabe and I talked about doing this. Gabe and I think, are the only 2 like early riser tattoo people that we knew. Like, we text back and forth some of the mornings just with different ideas and whatever. And so we had talked about I had participated in the drunk critiques a couple of times, which were a lot of fun. And then we talked about maybe doing just like a morning drawing session. I was like, man, we should try that, even if it's not really, super structured or organized. Just people sit down and we're all kind of working on our drawings for the week probably. And we thought we'd see if anyone was into it. So this is only our second time trying it, but it's cool for me because it gets me drawing. It gives me something that I need to work on for Monday morning.
Right.
Yeah.
After 6 months of it, we'll need to extend it and start at 8:30. Oh, well, I guess you do your exercise routine after this, right? Is that what's happening?
After, yeah, I go to a CrossFit class at 9. It's 8:00 now my time, or 8:06 my time. I'm in Central Zone, and I do this 9:30 a.m. CrossFit class about 20 minutes from my house. I've been doing it for, you can't tell by looking at me, but I've been doing it for like 10 years. I go to the same class, same group of people, and so I'm kind of like a creature of habit when it comes to that. And so yeah, that's why I did it at 8. But I mean, I could reschedule if we needed to move. If people seem to be into it and something we want to try to do a little later, I could probably, just take that day off from the gym and switch it out for a Saturday or something like that.
Figure it out. So we got, let's see, we actually got a question about tattoos. Can tattoos go over surgery scars?
Yeah.
Off of books.
Yeah. I tattoo over scars all the time. I think it's funny when you move into most everything I do is big these days, just because that's what I've kind of set up here. I'll go back to screen sharing if no one else has anything to share. So at least that we're seeing some drawing happening, and then talk. And anyone, man, feel free to chime in and answer questions. I don't want to be the only one offering opinions. So moving into large scale tattooing, I find that I'm constantly running into something that has to be dealt with, scars, other tattoos. And so I actually have just finished up. I don't know if I have any photos of it on my computer. I just finished up a huge tummy tuck cover up. So it starts under like a left breast and sweeps all the way down over a stomach, like down the pelvis and down the opposite hip. And it was a lot of really heavy scar tissue. Some of it was like really raised. Some of it was barely, noticeable. So yeah, it can be covered. It's got to be cut. You definitely want someone who has some experience in that, because you have to deal with the texture. If you're not prepared to deal with the texture of the scar, a lot of times you just accentuate the scar rather than covering it. But yeah, it absolutely can be done. And the funny thing about that is, in my experience, I don't know what you guys, but in my experience, I find that when I'm on top of scar tissue, the client doesn't feel it at all. And as soon as I get like that area I was just talking about doing the tummy tuck cover, down on the hip and pelvis area, it's super sensitive for most people. And so this woman was like, she would go from literally not knowing where I was tattooing, and then I would get off of the scar and she would almost come off of the cot because it was so instantaneously intense. So you kind of have to have people prepared for that like sudden whatever burst of pain.
I think it depends on where it is on the body. Sometimes people, in my experience, are suffering when you're tattooing the scar itself, and some people, like you said, don't feel it at all. It depends on where it is, and depends on how sensitive the scar is by itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like to get people to, people have to wait a while to get tattooed. Booking months ahead of time. So I like to tell them to exfoliate the scar like twice a day for however long the time is between when they set the appointment and when they actually get tattooed. Just take a soft washcloth and exfoliate twice a day and put lotion on it a couple times a day in preparation to get tattooed. And it often, softens up scar tissue just enough to make it a little bit more tattooable.
Huh. Yeah. I've heard people say that before. I've never asked anyone to do that, so I have no experience with it. But you can tell it definitely makes a difference.
It really works. And actually it really works when tattooing an elbow, for example, shitty skin in general. So if you have a client, exfoliate twice a day for, a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months sometimes. And I've done sleeves where that has occurred on the elbow, and that pigment in that part of the body stayed so well, almost healed brighter than the area right around it.
Really?
Yeah, it really works, like 1000%.
Huh. That would be
if you want to throw like a vitamin E gel cap on it after instead of lotion right away, cut open a vitamin E gel cap, squeeze it on.
Yeah.
That's really superb for softening skin.
Huh. You know what? When you say that, I used to tattoo with a woman. We shared a room at my old shop, and she used to have people use vitamin E for aftercare, and a lot of times she would talk about using cutting open a gel cap, just squeezing it on. I'd forgotten all about that. I haven't thought about that in years. It's
phenomenal. It's one of the best skin things there is.
Yeah.
It's got the consistency of honey, but rub it in, goes away.
Yeah. That would be an interesting experiment if you had say you had an appointment coming up or something where you were tattooing both elbows. How we used to do nautical stars on elbows,
right?
And you had them leading up to it. You had them moisturize one elbow consistently for a month, and the other one leave it alone, and then see what. That'd be a fun that would be an awesome technique episode or something, dude.
Got a control group.
Yeah, it'd be super cool.
So I guess Can I ask some questions? Because I actually have to take off at 9:30. I have an early appointment today.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
So this seems like a really great thing. Something I want to be a part of more. Is it something that like you said, are we just sitting around bullshitting and drawing, or is there going to be like classes in a sense, like are we gonna like actually tear something apart and build it up?
I sent you the link, Gabe, of the that community link. If you log into the community.reinventingthetattoo.com, there's a whole schedule. There's like every Monday night there's exercises, there's seminars once a week.
Yeah.
No, I saw that.
You're talking about this Monday morning group.
This particular, like if I'm going to do this every Monday, which is possible. I mean, I'm a late night owl and basically an early riser as well. So I could fit this into a Monday schedule and it'd be great. I just want to know if I need to be prepared with something, or if it's going to be like exercise of, this is what we're going to work on this week, or, that's all.
Yeah. I was wondering that too when we first threw the idea out. Guy is doing the Monday night thing where they have a specific exercise. And so I was kind of thinking for the morning, if we just treated it as kind of a roundtable discussion, I absolutely don't mind having a point of discussion, for the week, if we set it up in advance, where if we wanted to talk about something like maybe what large scale design or drawing tools, like digital drawing, or whether I figure, well, some of us are drawing on paper, I guess, here, but I definitely wouldn't mind having a theme or an idea that we were going to discuss each week. What I was thinking so far, like I said, it's only the second time we've done it. I was just going to bring up what I was dealing with on each drawing for each week, because most of the time I'm sure I'll just be working on whatever I have to draw for that week. So whatever challenges I'm dealing with, I thought I would bring up and use that as a kind of a kicking off point for the discussion and see where it goes from there. But I'm open to suggestions. I have I'm nothing set in stone for me.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the thought is to have the the Monday morning sessions where people are working on their tattoo designs and chatting about it. Relatively informal. It's Monday morning first thing. If there's if people are at a loss of what to do, we can certainly come up with that. But we can do this a couple times a week depending on the demand. As the audience grows. Often people are drawing in the mornings, so to be able to help people come together to do it, it's pretty cool.
My other question was, can I post it on Facebook? And
yeah, absolutely.
More the merrier.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to have. I mean, I didn't realize actually until last week, or until we actually started last week, and Gabe sent me the Zoom link that people had options to either be on the, a part of the drawing group or just watching it. So that's super cool that we can you can make the decision to either like jump on and share and draw alongside of us, or just stay anonymous and watch on a stream. I like that, and it's really great if the people on the stream can jump in and ask questions.
One of them, Tom, says, "Stop wasting your time and pick up a pencil."
Talking about me drawing digitally.
Laughing at you.
It's I like the idea of having the option to either be able to jump on and draw with us, or just hang back and watch. Another thing we could probably do, I mean, just we tweak, but it's only an hour, but sometimes in the mornings, whenever I first start, I'll do like little free draw sessions where I'll just start kind of like drawing absolutely nothing, or do quick little exercises. So we could always spend a week or two just seeing like feeling out what everyone does for their kind of warm-ups, or if people even do warm-ups. I know going through like art school and doing life drawing and things like that, we always did, we do little free draws, and then we would do 30-second exercises and 2-minute exercises and 5-minute exercises, and then we would do like a 20-minute pose or whatever to get into like our longer stuff. So I've kind of brought that over into my daily drawing, just to like kind of get myself in the mindset and get my hand working.
Hey, just while we have some people, they're asking some questions in in some of these different chat rooms. Maybe if you want to stop sharing for a couple minutes, and then everyone just do a quick introduction to themselves and
Yeah, sure
where
thing.
you're tattooing, and then how people can find them, so that as they're asking questions, they know how they can connect with you all in the future.
Yeah, good idea. You guys want to go around? I don't know what order anyone's in. If someone just wants to.
I'll go in my order here. Tony.
All right.
Me?
Correct.
Yeah. Well, like introduce myself regarding my work, or
Yeah, people that are watching are going to want to know what you're up to, how to find you.
well, now I'm just like, for example, I'm just doodling to build my portfolio up because there's not much work to do in Menorca. So I'm just trying to do a new collection of design. So whenever the work starts running again, I have something special to offer, you know.
And then your website, because you're off the social medias, right?
Well, I've been off social media for a wee while. I started again like last week or something like that, just to just to push myself and to remember people, but that I'm not dead.
And how could they find you?
Well, they can find me in Instagram or Facebook. My name is Tony Lee Works in Instagram or Facebook, and yeah, that's where I usually post my my new stuff, you know. But again, I've been off social media for like maybe half a year or something like that. So there's not much new that I've uploaded so far. Apart from that, I'm just trying to build my skills. So whenever the world goes back to normal, I can make some guest posts, some around Europe and stuff like that. That's the thing that worries me the most, you know, right now. The condition on which the planet is it's found, you know.
What are you doing?
Sure,
sorry, what are you doing with your time?
Sorry.
What are you doing with your time? What are you doing for income and stuff like that? If you guys are completely shut down right now?
Well, I can sell some commissions online, or I just spend all my savings.
Yeah, that's no good.
No, I know. But you know, hopefully we'll get better sometime soon, and we can get back to real work. You know, how is it in the States now with all the political stuff and everything going on?
Yeah, crazy. It's crazy, but we're back. I mean, at least, you know, I'm in the deep South, so like everyone here pretends there's no virus at all, you know. So we opened back up several months ago. Are you still closed from the initial shutdown, or is there or did they?
No. I mean, here in Menorca, we are more or less reopened to normal, but the whole country is closed up, basically, you know.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we got the advantage that because we are such a small island, we're kind of separate on these kind of decisions, and it doesn't affect us much, as in the, you know, in the big areas.
Yeah. Oh.
Because are you like open like?
Yeah, and for me, I'm open the same that I was, you know, before the pandemic. I mean, you know, we're wearing masks and things like that. But I'm in the shops, the actual shops that have walk-in business are a little more strict than I am. They're checking temperatures and doing all of those things. I work on the same. I only work on maybe 10 or 12 projects at a time. So it's basically like an extended family, and it's just me in my space. I don't have a front desk or, you know, a walk-in or anything. So we just wear masks, and it's just me and the client. So it's what about everyone else? Are you guys in private spaces or in walk-in shops? Or?
So I'm in kind of a private space. Like I have my own shop, and I'm in a small town, and I was walk-in previous to all of this stuff. But at this point, I basically wait till my client gets in, and then I lock the door when I start working.
Yeah. Yeah. Where are you?
I'm in Oregon.
Okay.
So yeah,
Melissa. I know. I don't know you, Melissa, but I know your name. I know you through social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so let's do a full introduction, Melissa, so people that are watching will what you're about and how to find you.
So I just have a private shop in Staten, Oregon. I do all sorts of different types of things as far as tattoo genres. Right now I'm open, but I've got a very long wait list. Today I'm working on kind of getting the shade work into a piece that I'm starting tomorrow on one of my returning clients. I'm super stoked about it. We'll probably just get this center section done first, depending on how she's doing. It's a upper chest piece. And then as far as finding me on social media, it's Mac, MAC _ Missa, MISSA.
Yeah, that's gonna be a cool piece. You've already lined it and you're just starting to shade it?
Yeah, I'm just kind of roughing in kind of where I want to go with it. I'm very new to digital. Like I started doing digital last year, and I think 6 months ago is when I started to actually like do more than just the line work.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sped me up, but it gives me that rough idea a little bit faster.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, who's next?
Gabriel, before you have to leave for your appointment.
Yeah. My name is Gabriel Sisi. I've been tattooing 25 years. I own Studio Evolve in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Oh.
And it's pretty much become just a big old house in the middle of a office. I don't know, office, like an, it's not a shopping mall. It's like an office park. So 2 floors, there's 23 tattooers. So
Wow.
it's pretty much
huge.
like a mini convention every day. It's just a big house that we all kind of hang out at and make tattoos and have a good time. There's, for the first time in 10 years of its existence, there's no drama. It's great.
Everybody artists, no doubt.
I know it's pretty amazing actually. Everybody gets along. Everybody's making money. It's mostly by appointment. There's some walk-ins daily, but most people are booked at least a month, if not 6 months to a year.
Wow.
And it's a lot of fun. It's a huge headache. Babysitting 23 tattooers is fucking nuts, but that many tattooers and 5, 6 office people and a maintenance guy and a cleaning guy and a web guy and there's a lot, but I only tattoo every other week now, just because of custody and kids and whatever. But I don't know. Yeah. I still love what I do. I still love what I do, and I don't know. If anybody wants to find me, there's StudioEvolveTattoo.com, GabrielCC.com, and I'm on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. That you're in a stacked part of the world too. I forget how many awesome tattooers are in Virginia.
It's amazing.
It's
actually
crazy.
Seriously, I've been here for 16 years, and when I first got here, I was blown away by how many talented people I worked with, much less were in the area, and it's only gotten better. There's a handful of shops around here that aren't so great, but in Hampton Roads, Tidewater, whatever the area you want to call it, 7 cities, there's probably close to 70 tattoo shops, and most of the staff at most of those shops are really good. There's some really great tattooers out here, and everybody kind of gels at this point. 16 years ago, it was dog eat dog, and there was a bunch of shop rivalries, but there was only 10 shops at that time, and now it's just expanded so much, and the scene has gotten pretty cool.
Yeah. I had planned to be there a lot more, and COVID threw me off. But Andy Chambers has started my full back from neck to kneecaps about this time last year, and then COVID hit and all of our other. So I'll be back in January. But we basically took a year off. We got it lined and took a year off. But I came up last December and stayed down. It was my first trip to Virginia Beach, and I stayed down on the shoreline on the beach, and it was a complete ghost town, but I could tell it's probably pretty cool whenever it's not December.
Well, the oceanfront, it's all touristy, but this place, I never thought I ended up here, but it's very agreeable here. People are pretty decent. Politics are decent. Money's always there because the military just feeds it. Military feeds everything here. You'd be surprised how agreeable military kids are to getting your ideas put on them as opposed to what they want, and locals are great. Business is good. Weather's decent. Politics are decent. It's a blue state now, which is, which is great as far as I'm concerned. But, schools are good. Weather's good. People are decent. Money's great. I'm here.
Yeah. That's awesome. I got a buddy I met through the podcast that owns I guess it's a decent sized shop there. Trying to think, it's Sandbridge Tattoo.
Sandbridge Tattoo. Yep.
Yeah,
Tommy
yeah.
Altman.
Tommy Altman.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. He's a real good dude.
Really nice guy. Yeah.
Yep. Super nice.
Yeah.
They have a good shop over there. They have a solid shop over there for sure.
Yeah. I haven't been there. I've seen photos of it, and I've met him just only at other events. But he's always been really, like you're saying, he's a really, really great guy. Well, cool.
For sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, who else do we have? Gabe, did we lose you?
Oh, no, I had my mute on. Oh, I can click the space bar and it'll just automatically go back on. Jason, you're next.
Cool. Hey everyone, my name is Jason. I've been tattooing for about 10 years. I'm located just north of Philadelphia in Southampton, PA. Our studio's open. We do some walk-ins, though not too many. Most of us are usually pretty booked out. I like to do a lot of neo-traditional and Japanese-inspired stuff, a lot of floral work, a lot of bigger pieces, back pieces, full sleeves, chest pieces, whatever I can sink my teeth into. I'm not sure who's sharing right now.
Oh no, was that Million? Million, are you sharing your screen?
Looks like it.
Oh, I thought it was you.
No.
Nah. No, but I can go through and share what I'm working on.
Yeah, let's see it.
Now he's going to go to his email and we're going to know everything.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
I'm streaming it.
Mike McDowell, you're completely streaming your desktop. So if you go to your emails.
Actually, I've got his, in case he's not hearing us, I have his phone number.
Yeah, so I'm just working on chrysanthemums right now. Always found them kind of tricky. Just so many different moving parts and so many different ways you can make them work. So it's just something that, I want to get better at.
And can you screen share?
I believe you are seeing it.
Yeah, I see it.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah, I see it.
I'm just wireframing some stuff out and just getting the basics down for how things flow and different movement structures.
Yeah. That I love taking taking things that are pretty common tattoo imagery and trying to find a unique way to present them. And it's tricky now because people that's a perfect example. And you look at how many people are tattooing chrysanthemums now and doing such a great job of it. And you see, every time you see someone do something different with it, you're like, why didn't I think of doing it that way?
Exactly. Exactly. So I just always try to, push the envelope and work on things that I know that, maybe I'm okay at, but I could be better at. So I just try to keep pushing the envelope and, developing things as far as I possibly can.
Yeah. That's gonna be cool. I remember thinking of chrysanthemums. Do you guys know Fibs?
Yeah, he's tattooed me a whole bunch.
Oh, has he?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he did my entire side panel and my knee.
Oh wow! I bet I've seen it then. So I follow his work. I met him. We were both doing a guest spot at Guru in San Diego, in Little Italy, a year or so ago, and ended up having him on the show. Super cool guy, and I watched him tattoo about half a day, and he like did a chrysanthemum that, you know, like the petals stretched out so crazy and scooped forward like all the way down this woman's leg. And I was just like, man, that's so cool. Like,
oh yeah, man, he is the chrysanthemum king.
Yeah.
Like seriously, I was looking at some of his work the other day, just total Sharpie freehand, you know, full chrysanthemum sleeve.
Yeah.
And he was just, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
I met him in Italy at the Rome Tattoo Convention a few years back. When, you know, he had some time, he was doing some walk-ups, and I'm like, hey, love your work. Like, I've been following you for a while. Do you have time today? He's like, yeah, what do you want to get? And I said, I don't know. Here's an area, fill it.
Yeah.
You know, and just kind of said, hey, do what you want. Like maybe a peony, you know, a peony on my knee, you know, boom. You hear all week, folks. And he did. He sat down, drew it on, and knocked it all out. And then hit him up a little bit later and said, hey, I know you're traveling a lot right now, but what do you think about really getting into a bigger piece? I'd love to have you do my whole side panel. And he said, absolutely. He was doing guest spots at Red Rocket Tattoo in New York at the time. And he's like, you know, listen, this is when I'll be in New York. Let me know what your ideas are, and, you know, we'll set up an appointment, send him a deposit, set everything up, gave him my ideas, showed up, and, you know, we started working on it. Took about a year and a few months, going every 3 or 4 months just to finish it. I think I even met up with him in London one year.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, super great guy. And he's just got this super simplified concept of chrysanthemums. So it's always something that I try to, you know, just work on and get better at. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's awesome. You were able to get a big piece from him too.
I've been throwing around ideas about having him collaborate with someone else on my back. So we'll see. We'll see what comes of that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, super cool.
Aaron's amazing. Some of his interviews are just, he's just got a really good spirit.
Yeah, definitely. And I was good. Now he's involved. I forget what role, if he came on later, if he was originally involved in that the Puerto Rico show, right, with Yalzi.
Yep.
Yeah. So he invited us out to podcast and to tattoo at that show, but I guess it's probably canceled due to
this year. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are postponing until next year. I work at it every year. Phenomenal show. Tons of unbelievable artists there. And then everyone from Calais Corson and Dalmiro was there one year. James Tex was there a year. Tons of just phenomenal tattooers.
Yeah. It looks like a great show. So many of them these days.
Oh yeah.
There was one actually that I got an invite to recently. That's not too far from you. It's just called the New York Tattoo Convention. They're saying they're still going to do it like in mid-May. I haven't registered yet because as soon as I procrastinated on filling out the stuff that they sent it when they sent it over, and now it looks like, you know, cases are spiking like crazy again. So I was like, I'm going to wait. I've already got enough conventions that are holding my money until next year.
Exactly.
Everything from last year, they're like, you know, I didn't ask for any refunds. I just decided I would wait on the next year and just apply it towards that booth. And now I'm like, man, I've got enough cash sitting out for people who may or may not put these shows on for the next couple of years.
Okay, let's see. So we're still doing introductions. Woohoo! Chris.
Hey guys. I'm Chris Hall from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I have Skin Tones Tattoo Studio. I've been tattooing for 23 years.
Man, yeah, a bunch of vets on the show this morning.
I try to do mostly black and gray biomech whenever I get the chance. That's my thing.
Whatever you're doing now is like crazy shaking your camera.
It's cool though. The piece is awesome.
Yeah, I'm working on my turtle from last night, trying to finish it up.
What was there a turtle exercise last night?
Yeah, with Judy Parker and Guy.
Oh yeah. I saw the an ad for it, but I didn't know when it was. How did that go over? Pretty well. A lot of people show up.
Yeah, we had a good bit. What did we have, Gabe? Maybe 6, 8 people.
It was like 6 to 8 beaming in. We're eagerly anticipating the release of the app so that people can get the notifications, and the scheduling's a little bit tighter. But it was pretty cool. We had Richie doing some DJing in the first hour, and once we figured out how to get the volume going and shit, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, as a tester of the app, it really is working well. The notifications are great. I get, and it's easy to navigate. Once there's content that fills all of the places where the content goes, it's really going to be something special, I think.
I mean, by January, we should have 3 to 5 things in each of the show folders, and patience. It's amazing. I mean, obviously tattooing teaches us patience, but it's like, oh man, I can't wait to have, an install base of thousands. So, everybody that wants, we should be able to have a fair amount of more communication with people. And I mean, ultimately it's about smoothing out all the communication and just kind of trying to get everything so that, we book everything steadily, we promote everything steadily, we run everything steadily, and then we replay everything steadily. Mm-hmm. And if we could just keep, get 5 or 6 shows going every week out like clockwork. This stuff is great. This is really fun. People really dig it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I love the layout of it. It's really user friendly, easy to navigate, and the notifications. Like, it even popped up this morning. I made my first cup of coffee, and it popped up this thing that we're doing right now. I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
And if it's for cool shit, and it's not annoying, It's 2020. We should have a mobile app. I had one, 5 years ago for the shop, and we fucking killed it. So, yeah. I mean, basically, for the studios that get involved with it, that have their clientele join, you could do push notifications to your, basically to your wait list, or you can log in and post up, hey, we've got a cancellation next Thursday. Anyone looking to do something? Click here. And that push notification will go out to your client, to your clients. And,
that's super cool, because you think about how many people, for everyone who's doing working on multi-session projects, and then you realize you finish the 3rd session, but you're going to need 6, and you're like, so how many more do we have in the books? And they're like, oh, this was the last one. When can I get back in? And you're like, oh shit, and you look, and it's 3 months out, and they're everyone, I deal with that constantly, and people are like, well, just let me know if you get a cancellation. And I tell everyone, yeah, of course I'll do that, but there's no way I'm going to actually remember who wanted to be notified when I got a cancellation, So if you could
I have a running list in my notes app on my phone.
Oh, do you?
And it's like a carousel, man. So I'll hit up the first person on the list. If they can't make it, I go to the next one, and that first guy goes to the bottom of the list until I go through everyone. Someone eventually makes it.
That's where the app is pretty amazing. You send out, we used to log into Tattoo Now, put out the push notification, and then it would just go out to everybody. It filled the spots about 1/3 of the time.
Yeah, that's
cool.
And
just as far as it was pretty amazing, and I'm excited to, among all the other things that we have going on with the Reinventing, it should be, again, waiting for all the red tape and everything is. It's excruciatingly awesome.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's awesome.
The app in the road the other day was fun.
That was an amazing story to hear. So you had started it at the shop, went into the car, and we were able to kind of follow along with it.
Yeah.
What was it? I missed this. What?
Gabe's seminar. I was in the middle of cleaning up for end of day at the shop. It's just me there, and I didn't want to miss it, so I was listening to it as I was sweeping and mopping and stuff. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go home, and it's a 25-minute drive for me. And so I just popped it in the Bluetooth on my car and typed in the group chat. I was like, hey, listening, driving.
Hey y'all, I gotta go to work. Everybody have a great day.
Same to you.
Thanks,
Hey,
Gabe, for
Gabriel,
inviting me.
It's
We'll
a
see you
pleasure,
next.
man.
We'll see you next week.
Take
See you,
care.
man. See you then.
See you,
Good luck
man.
on your piece today.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Early morning tattoos. I don't do that very often. I start at noon every day. From noon until 6. I used to do 3 till 10, and I got to where I couldn't do that anymore.
I think it's the best time for me to tattoo, because you kind of get into the zone, and by mid-morning you're like totally focused, and it feels cool. And also you always have the chance to finish your piece, because if you start for example, in my case, if I start too late, it's like, oof, time is running and I might not be able to finish it, That's super shitty.
Yeah. No doubt. I definitely focus better in the mornings. I do most of my drawing in the mornings. I just don't get clients up there quite that early. But I think I may have said this last week, but I used to think that I was kind of a night owl and I would stay up late and draw. But I found that I just make drawings worse late at night. And if I get up in the morning and do them when I'm fresh, I can usually see problems from the night before that I was completely missing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Is that all the introductions, or is there any?
Actually, Million just got on. I just wanted to say real quick to anybody in the chat room, and Brian, I'm off of Facebook. I'm only on here just specifically for this. But you could feel free to add some of the other artists that you're seeing here, and then direct message them. And if you're in the Chicago area looking for a cover up, Guy Aitchison is very difficult to get an appointment with, but if he can't do it, he would point you in the right direction for scar cover-ups. He's definitely got an affinity for. So just wanted to put that out there. And then, Million, we just lost your video, but you're on for the introductions. And you can screen share, too.
Yeah, he already was. Are you there, Million?
I don't know what. Yeah, I'm here, but I don't know. I'm trying the iPad app and it's shite.
iPad app for Zoom?
Yeah. So it's not exclusively awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, man? What are you working on this morning? Or I guess you need to introduce yourself to people who don't know you.
I'm Million. I do tattoos.
Yeah.
That's about it. Draw pictures, mostly digital. I'm just working on tonight's project that I was supposed to have done already.
Oh, for our Find Your Style group. Let's see it. Let me get a sneak peek.
I haven't really got anything accomplished on it yet.
Yeah.
But I will. I'll share.
So you got your thumbnail from last week, right?
Yeah, I did get the. Now it should be sharing, hopefully.
Yeah, that's sharing. Yeah,
so
yeah.
I did get the tracing. I got Paul, the shop owner. I grabbed his arm and did a tracing for his arm to figure out how to lay it out. But now I gotta take a picture of that and try to get it in the app and figuring out how to move everything down and adjust the points that Andy was talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what we did for people who aren't in our Find Your Style group, we used Andy's basic, like, simple generic arm template originally to do the thumbnail, which is this is Million's thumbnail. It was just supposed to be a quick kind of idea, and then we for this week we were supposed to actually trace a real arm and start to render the drawing a little bit further. And what we're trying to think of a lot is the viewer's perspective. How people typically view tattoos when they're looking at other people. So like, looking at the outer arm and then how that transitions over the bicep and into the inner arm, how the perspective changes and how you can use that to your advantage and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff he's throwing out at us.
Yeah,
Morning, Jake.
Figuring out the actual layout is holy buckets.
Say it again.
Figuring out how to get the layout to kind of work through is it's been turning a 2D image 3D in your mind that's so kind of been the challenge for me, but it's been fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It has. I've learned a lot already. And of course, Andy throws his drawings out there, his preps, and then his final tattoos, and it looks like he's some kind of wizard from his thumbnail all the way out. And you're just like, what the hell? Nobody does that.
So we have a guy on the line.
What's
Morning,
happening,
guys.
man?
Morning,
Fun.
guys.
Good guy.
Are you
What else
drawing?
we got here? Let's see.
Are you drawing or just waking
Hey,
up?
everyone. Oh, I don't have a tattoo to draw today. What I've got instead is I'm supposed to. Sandra and I right now are trying to figure out some button graphics, and so we've just been thumbnailing those, and it's sort of interesting. It reminds me of a time that Tim Kern was telling me that he was once hired by a local news station to create like the weather icons, like for rain and fog and that sort of thing. And I remember seeing they were very clean and professional looking, but there still was just that hint of Tim Kern quirkiness in them, And so, I mean, we're trying to come up with something that is, clean and readable and simple, but doesn't slick or, you know what I mean? It's the idea. It's like some of them we're still trying to figure out, like networking. What do we call that? Community center, people, connect, and then what's the graphic for that? Things like that. So it's an interesting, fun challenge. And of course, at this stage of the game, we are super open to suggestions.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't mean to interject, but Guy, there's a fellow that's got a scar cover up in Chicago area that everyone's told him no to. I think he's thinking about some sort of zippery type of idea, but I don't know if there's somebody in Chicago you could point him to. Or...
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, okay. If in fact you want a zippery kind of thing, I'm sure just about anybody could do that, because that's not really a scar cover up. You're just tattooing a zipper on your scar.
Well, he's been told no by shop, so we just need to give him someplace that'll.
Okay.
Won't be scared.
Well, my first question would be, what would you really like to get tattooed there? Not, what would you settle for, but what is it that you actually want there, and then narrow it down to an artist from there. I mean, there's definitely a few very good people in Chicago, but the thing with scar cover-ups is you don't want to pull any clean lines across the heavy scar tissue, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't put detail or shapes there. It's just a matter of being clever with it. And sometimes the answer is to come up with something that's got a little bit of texture in the design, and you use some of that texture over the scar area. You use a little bit over non-scarred areas as well. It totally fools the eye into no longer seeing that scar. And then, bold, clean lines can be used in places that don't necessarily pass directly over the heaviest scar tissue. And if you do it all right, you're not going to really notice the scar anymore. It's not going to disappear completely, but the entire area gets repurposed so much that people just don't notice the scar. Where if you put a zipper there, it's kind of like you're just adding a punchline to your scar. So, I'm not saying don't do it, but what I would say is ask yourself, what is it that you really want? Not like, what is it that you would settle for? Because you definitely can get more than the zipper there. And I mean, if you were to come to me, I would definitely talk you out of the zipper. All this said, if you do get your scar covered up, expect that you're going to need to hit it a couple of times. Scar tissue typically does not hold pigment quite as well as ordinary skin. And this even goes for skin that's been lasered too many times. It heals a little bit milkier and usually needs a second whack. And
And if the scar tissue that you're dealing with is really textured, has like deep pits in it and big shiny raised areas or whatever, definitely expect a couple of passes, because the artist is just going to have a chance to work those areas, let it heal, see how it heals, get back into it. But it's still worth it, because you can do beautiful scar cover-ups. It can really be whatever you want, as long as you find an artist that can look at your scar and take your idea and find some kind of connection between the two, where it includes the right amount of texture and that kind of thing in order to do the job. So yeah, that would be my question: is what?
Yeah. Well, I encourage them to send a message through the website. So we'll see.
Yeah, and of course, I'm down with doing it too. I don't know when it would be. It might be, March or so. I'm definitely keeping the bookings down right now. The Illinois COVID numbers are just ridiculous at the moment. So, focusing on other things. But if you don't find anybody else to do your scar cover up, hit me up and put scar cover up in the subject box. Guyomek@gmail.com and GUYOMECH@gmail.com.
Okay. Now, Sandy, do you want to give yourself the introduction? I think you might. You just gave your contact info. So Sandy, you want to introduce yourself to the stream people?
Hello, I'm Sandy. I've been tattooing for 13 years. I like doing just about anything, but I really like doing colorful psychedelic stuff. That's probably my favorite thing to do. I am also, like I said, working on not a tattoo, but the buttons for the app today. So if anybody has any ideas to share with us, I'm sure we'd be benefiting from that. But it's nice to be here drawing with everybody. That's so cool. I'm glad I get to be up. I've been up since 4:30, so.
Oh god. Nap time.
Yeah.
I remember you guys talking about the buttons. That reminds me of when I was in art school, I was taking some type of commercial art class, and we had to design a holiday bag, like a fall, season's greeting style bag that would be used at a Macy's or something like that. And I've never struggled with anything more in my life than to come up with something that was not Christmassy, but not Thanksgiving-y, not something simple, clean, readable that someone could walk through the mall with, and it would say what they wanted it to say. I fought with that thing forever, so I feel for you.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
Yeah, it's the whole idea of simplifying. I mean, I think that as tattooers, we should be good at that, but we're not. And part of it is, our clients love it when ideas on top of ideas on top of ideas. The idea of simplification is something that you almost have to sell. It's like, really, to do less to my amazing tattoo?
Right.
Yeah, it'll look better. I don't know. It's always been tough for me, and this whole process of making this app has really been about simplification. And it kind of reminds me of when I was making the encyclopedia, where every now and then I would just go through the whole layout and say, okay, this entire 16-page chapter, flush. And it was hard to do, but you have to make those decisions sometimes.
Yeah.
So find a tattooer. That's another one. It's a really cool feature. It's just like a Google map with a pin for every tattooer that's signed up. You would figure that the icon for such a thing would be easy, but I don't know. And the other thing is we want everything to ultimately, at the end of this, to be stylistically consistent, right? We're going to have 12 of these buttons next to each other, and we want them to all look like, they belong to the same app. So, yeah.
Yeah. That's tricky. Yeah, I like the find a tattooer feature. I've been through and looked at at all of the features. They all they're not all built out yet, but they've all got a ton of potential. I wondered how you were gonna find those tattooers. So will it be just people who are signed up for Reinventing, or will it be categorized in some way if people specialize, or have you gotten that far?
I think that you'll be able to search by keyword, right, Gabe?
Well, you can via the artist. Okay, so the answer is yes. There are ways to do that, but it's not like you can't go to a Google map and be like turning on the pins on and off. But that said, when you click on a pin, you can see for the artist profiles. If you put in I'm interested in portrait styles or traditional tattoos, etc. When people search for the members or search for that, then they will find your artist by style. If people upload into the tattoo galleries with the keyword hashtags, that would be another way for people to separate out galleries and artists by style. But at least for this first version, anybody that is a part of the community.reinventingthetattoo.com, when you go to your profile section, there's a field for, I think it says like Google friendly address. And then if you put in a Google friendly, ideally if you go and find your Google business listing and copy that address, it's perfect. But any address you put in there will then put the pin down on the map. And so ultimately what it means is if you're inside of the Reinventing community and you go to your profile section, everyone wants to kind of blow by it and not really fill it out. But the more you fill it out, then the more searchable it is. You get your pin on the map. Have links out to your Instagrams or to the websites, etc. And
yeah. So at the map level, there's no way to break that down. But as you click, once you click on a pin within the map for an artist in your area, you'll be able to kind of like dive down into what they do from there.
Exactly. I mean, there is a way. It's just not a way that we're able to do with this time and budget.
Okay, but
we can do anything.
Right. The important thing is, let's say somebody's in Boston and they zoom in on the map on Boston and they can see there's 16 pins and they could just look at each one of them and see what's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'm excited. So when is the actual app launch date for the general public?
2024.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a waiting game with Apple and with things like LLC status and stuff like that. We can just fill out forms and we wait. And so I've been telling people first of the year, although if all goes well, we'll actually have it available for people to install a few weeks before that. I just don't want to make promises we can't keep. And then that'll also give us a chance to get a bunch of people, actually installing the app before our big release party, which, not going to do it too close to the first of the year, just to give people a chance to clear out those hangovers. But, sometime that first week or two of January, we'll end up, having some kind of a release party.
Sweet.
And, we're still trying to figure out these models. Like last night we experimented with having a DJ on while we have people on talking and figuring out like what works, the right volume levels, things like that. Like what exactly can you do in a virtual party? It's just completely brand new territory, and it's been kind of interesting. But hopefully by January we'll have a really good format for a much larger group, being able to make sure everybody's got a moment on the screen and that kind of thing. I would love it if we had a bunch of shops that were tuned in and paint jamming and and so our camera can kind of roam from shop to shop, and can have moments of interviewing the people in the different shops and seeing the art they're doing and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah, the trick anytime with those things when you have multiple shops is just all the technical part, not just the technical streaming part, but like people setting their own cameras up so that you're not like just staring at the back of someone's head when you go to their shop and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's tricky because we also we don't want it to be complicated for people. The technical part of it, we would really prefer they just one click and they're there. And So of course, with the app, if it's not a big group call, it's like that. You know, if it's just one person broadcasting, it is easy as pie. You know what I mean? It's like doing it on Instagram, except you have a standby mode, which is a really nice feature.
Yeah.
But when it comes to these group calls, you know, there's all that Zoom nonsense, and even the Zoom people haven't figured out how to simplify that.
Right. Yeah. Well, on my end, it's after 9. I'm gonna have to bolt. Let me share. Is it cool if I share how far I got?
Yeah. Let's check it out
today, and then I'll.
I'd love to see everybody's drawings.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take off after that. Let's see. All right, so this is. It always gets me. You click it, and then you have to click share after you click the actual screen. That's what I keep forgetting to do. So, all right. So here's what I got. So I got a full left arm sleeve. You can see the red of the template there, so that the top of that kind of like top of that wing sits right on the deltoid, and the moon will kind of like, I think, shine light. So there won't be quite that much light on top of the wing since the light's mainly coming from behind it. So it'll be a little darker. And then right in the center of the bicep there, the owl's head, and down from there. Hopefully I've used these little negative kind of French curve things to cut over things like the elbow and the squishy part of the armpits. I'll have some negative stuff that comes from the armpits, so I can dodge all the stuff I don't want to do.
Yep.
So there we go. That's what I made it to.
It's not just the stuff you don't want to do. It's like those are places where it doesn't always look great to have like detailed work, like right in the armpits. You know, I'm always telling people in critiques, don't crowd the armpits. Same deal with the elbow.
Right.
And so, you know, engineering in you know, you call it a cheat if you want, but engineering in you know, a little bit of flowing negative space as a way of dealing with that stuff. It makes life easier, but it also can make for just a nicer looking tattoo.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that. That's a cool drawing. I look forward to seeing the tattoo.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. Well, hopefully we keep rolling with this thing. Gabe, I'll get with you. I'm out of town next Monday, but I will be. I'll be in Asheville, North Carolina. I'll have internet access, so if I can stream from my iPad, I'd probably still be down with doing it remote. But we may have to test and make sure that actually works.
Cool.
That's cool with you.
I'll be up.
Are you going to be guesting at a shop in Asheville? Or?
No, we're just taking a little trip. You know, Max, my son is in virtual school right now. All of our school is virtual, and we've got some friends in the Black Mountain, Asheville area. So we just rented an Airbnb, and I cleared my schedule for the full week of Thanksgiving from tattoos. And I'm going to bring my plein air setup, and I'm going to try to paint some mountains and hang out and drink some craft beers in an area that I don't normally drink beers in. So that's
beautiful.
Sounds like a very tattooer thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. That was my goal. Cool. Well, thanks everybody. I'll catch you guys next week. Gabe, I'll touch base, and if we can make that work, I'm definitely down to do it from the mountains.
Awesome, that'd be great. We'll talk soon. Cheers.
All right.
You have a great workout.
All right, thanks.
See you, Jake.
Take care, guys.
So,
Take care. Bye.
can I see everybody else's drawings as long as we're here?
Yeah, let's see here. This is Tony.
Yeah, well, I'm just doing a wee hair sort of chest coming out from, well, some smoke, I don't know, just to make it more tattooable. And yeah, I just was doodling to warm up a little bit my hand, and I came up with this because I guess it's an easy shape to build and stuff like that.
I like the expression on the face, and I really like the paws. You know, they have as much expression in them as the face has.
Thank you, man.
Tony's Tony, what was the first event that you ended up at? Was it the Venetian Gathering or one of the ones in Ireland?
Yeah, the one in Venice.
I can't wait to do that again.
Oh, me neither. Oh, fuck me. I can't believe it's been 4 years already, almost 5 years.
Oh, crazy. Okay, let's see here. Melissa next.
Ooh. So is this, you've got a tattoo coming up, or is this just for fun?
So this is tomorrow I'm starting on this piece. She's a returning client. This is going to be upper chest. The dagger sits directly center. She sits like a beast, but we'll probably only get like this first center section done in. So I'm kind of just roughing in all the extras, getting a feel for it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mostly just black and gray with some spot color, bits of red, bits of purple.
So it's hard for me to see in this. Wow, that's the least finished part. But yeah, okay. So it goes way off into the distance there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah, I like how you've got the giant skull, but then it goes deep into the distance.
This is probably the third massive change we've made to it. I had a staircase, I flipped it. I had a chick's face in there for a while, but it wasn't really her thing. She kind of left it open-ended. And so when I met up with her again, I was like, okay, we can do like some cave or something, but I want it to go way back in the distance, so it kind of gives it some dimension.
Well, the boat is cool because, you know, then you have something that's like coming forward out of the depths.
Right.
Which is a nice compositional trick. You know, because you also have the skull is looking downward and inward to the composition, and you've got the boat approaching inward to the composition as well, and they're both sort of facing towards the dagger in the center.
It's gonna be a lot of fun, that's for sure.
Have you thought about playing around with your values a little bit? Like, for instance, the rocky stuff behind the dagger going down to like just 70% instead of all the way black.
Yeah, I've been
handle would pop.
kind of dropping it back a little bit. It's like I'm kind of playing with it in layers. I know that I want to drop all of this stuff back because it's further back. And then there'll be like this river. I'm not sure if I'm going to do just little spots of color. But further back I go, I plan on doing some, you know, some muting, highest contrast in the front.
Seeing how this one comes together.
It'll be a lot of fun, that's for sure.
Did my connection just... Okay, what else have we got? Looks like Chris is still working on the turtle shell.
Yep.
Looking pretty.
What are your thoughts on this guy?
Sweet. Definitely cool. Like if you wanted to exaggerate the dimensionality of it, like one more notch. So you've got that kind of the off-white seams between the green plates. And if you were to imagine that whole off-white area as being a broken surface and having that, I don't know, it's hard to tell in the photo. But yeah, just a couple of key highlights at some certain corners within that off-white stuff would, you know, it would kind of push it, dome it up towards the viewer's eye a little bit. But it's a very convincing effect already, you know. Already looks like it domes out nicely. Really cool.
Yeah, it's tripping me out a bit looking at it for longer. Definitely looks pretty dome-like.
Sandy, is it still dark where you're at outside?
It is just starting to not be dark. And now it's just white and gray with the snow. Does anybody else have snow yet?
Nope, not yet.
No? Yeah, we only have had like one dump of it, but it's just, now it's sticking around. Womp womp.
We're still, like here in the Midwest, we're getting like all the trailers of the tropical storms that are hitting the Gulf Coast.
Oh.
And so we keep getting these warm, wet waves that come blasting through. And so we haven't actually had a hard frost yet. And
Oh, wow.
It's almost December.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. The mushroom harvesting right now is crazy. But,
yeah. That's
yeah,
sweet.
yeah, well, it's definitely a plus side to it. And, you know, like yesterday we were out at state park hiking. It was just gorgeous. But yeah, I don't mind the idea of a winter that's like a winter, you know. My daughter would certainly love to play in the snow, but we haven't had anything like that in a few years.
Oh man, that's crazy. Well, hopefully it gets down there.
All
I
right,
think,
what other drawings have we got going on here?
So, Jason, can you share your screen, and then I think we'll have everyone.
Yeah. Oh yeah, nice.
And just once again, still working on those chrysanthemums.
Yeah, they're tricky. They're you know, it's one of those things that's become so stylized. You know, in the tattoo world, we've come up with this extremely unrealistic but kind of like official way of stylizing them. And the thing is, when it's done just right, it's such a cool expression of space and volume, you know. And the people that know how to nail it are, you know, it's almost like they've got a math equation down. Now, is that going in a particular place, or are you just drawing to draw right now?
Just sketching.
Yeah.
Just trying to get a better idea of like space, volume, how to make sure all those petals are flowing the way that I want them to. Looking at the different perspectives and how they can twist around. Some guys I've seen will have them literally almost spiraling out into the distance, which is, you know, amazing. But, you know, just the mechanics and the basic construction and deconstruction of the shapes. It's kind of what I'm really trying to focus on right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because there's things you're doing here which, you know, biomech artists are doing the same thing. You know, you're trying to measure out the different layers so they don't interfere with each other, keep that sense of rotation going, have things that are, you know, coming up and around the volume of the space from different angles and directions in such a way that the viewer can just easily grasp what's going on there. It is in some ways kind of like math.
Yeah. So work in progress as always, but you know, I've drawn so many of them over, you know, the past, I want to say 4 years I've been working on them, that it's still tricky every single time. So it's a constant struggle, just trying to figure out new and exciting ways to do it. But you know, it's fun. You know, I love that discovery portion of
the point when they stop being tricky. Yeah, there's just a point where you stop pushing yourself and it stops feeling tricky because you're just repeating yourself, right?
Well, you start to get comfortable. You know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what happens, and I definitely have noticed plenty of times in my own, you know, artistic arc. There's moments when I sit down to just draw what comes comfortably, and I'm clearly repeating myself. And it's like, okay, I could have easily drawn this yesterday. There's nothing new happening here that I couldn't have done yesterday. And yeah, of course, we have to do a certain amount of that. Everything can't be, you know, a bold exploration into the unknown. All right, there's a balance in there. But, you know, repeating something that you're not good at, I think that's the whole idea here. That's what makes it an exercise.
Absolutely.
Cool. Okay, so we're at an hour and 15 minutes. I'm gonna probably stop the stream, but everyone's of course
I am gonna have
to
cut out
call,
myself.
Yeah, me too.
But it's been great seeing you all, and yeah, I still have to get the line drawing together for tonight. So that'll be posted in the next hour or two, and I will see everyone tonight at whatever your respective time zones are. 8 p.m. here.
And